evening, YouTube. It's me, all the way George Page, aka the Emperor of Female Body Talk, coming to you live on YouTube. Well, folks, I had a busy week. A couple of reviews last week, this past weekend, and I got one more today. Folks, as a content maker, especially on these lovely ladies of muscle, I enjoyed talking to them, especially the ladies who had their boots on the ground, 10-toe down, to uppercomers. I know I have people saying, "Hey, George, we can talk to this person, this person, this person, this person." I talk to people who I want to talk to, and just people that interest me and people I follow, or just some women who I've just been fans of for quite a bit, and I really want to share their story. So we have here the lovely lady. She's been competing for a good while. She is a legend in sport. She's going by the Foxy Flex Mama here, and she's known by the lovely Mrs. Sorry, I'm trying to get myself together. Jackie Horan, so welcome, ma'am. Thank you for coming through. I mean, it's like I said, sometimes I get a little tongue tied, especially I get to talk to a lovely lady like yourself, and I'm trying to be very, very calm, so folks, welcome, the lovely Miss Jackie. And question we always ask these ladies who come on here, we like to share a story with us. How did you, a lovely lady like yourself, start into the sport of what we call muscle and masculinity? Please share.
Well, I've been trying to figure that answer out for you since you wrote me. And it's like, there's like many little things that came into my life that led me to bodybuilding. But I would have to say that the main thing that drove me into it was discipline, my search for a disciplined life. I knew that was, I'm a worker. I come from the country, I grew up with, people that got up at 5 a.m. and got things done. And so I always wanted as a child to go into like the police academy or some kind of military, because that discipline I knew was what my, my soul needed. So when I ended up in bodybuilding, it was actually out of boredom. I was training for a scuba diving instructor course test. It was like you had to like don a lot of heavy gear, and you had to actually rescue like a full-size man. And I'm only 5 foot, and I think at the time I was about 118 pounds. So I started swimming and running to train for that. And then I happened to walk into a gym, and there was just a little meathead bodybuilder in the gym. It was like a rec center. And he just showed me how to use his equipment. They were just free weights and cable machines, because this was in 1993. So they didn't have a lot of machines out back then. And I got strong, and I developed fast. My shoulders grew fast and my chest did. And I didn't have to run, and I didn't have to really diet. I mean, it was just perfect sport for me. It was perfect. And it was perfect because you could, I'm a little OCD, or maybe a lot, but it's a perfect sport for people that need to count and need repetitive movement, but a change of movement. So it's good for the mind. And then, you could set up 1,000 different workouts. And so every day my workouts are different. I'm ready to go in there and bust it out, and I'm working. It's like my body is working. And then after I'm done, I go work some more. And that's a good life to me, is to be able to work your body. So there I am.
Well, I know I've been working since I can remember, and sometimes some work is not always good work, but that's what the work you like. I know you enjoyed yourself, and it's just the process about the sport of bodybuilding. Some people, how they fall into the sport because either they have athletic background, they enjoyed fitness, and just, particularly some women say they never knew nothing about bodybuilding until someday somebody say, hey, you ever think about bodybuilding? And that's one of the most popular ones. So here's some people coming through here. We got some people here. We got my man.
I cannot see the chat.
Yeah, the chat is, you got to go to if you got a computer, you got to go to the YouTube channel, because the link I sent you is to the YouTube. This is for the StreamYard. So yeah, it's two different separate.
Oh, all right. Well, I won't be able to see it. I'll leave this alone so we don't mess anything up, and I'll let you direct that.
Okay.
So I'm sorry if I.
That's all right. That's all right. So right here we have my man Balls Deep. He says, Word up and salute. Also, we have here KL the Wanderer. He says, "Good evening, good evening, kid there." And Balls
Hello.
Deep says, "Good evening, gorgeous." He's a fan. And, it says
Good.
also Chicago in here. It's that's his moniker. He's always dropping. He's on Chicago. And also he says, "Peace and blessings to the chat." Thank you, Balls Deep. Also, he says,
Thank you.
uh, smash that like button. And also, he says, you know, uh, she's a very foxy.
Thank you.
Yeah, I keep telling these anytime I keep telling these ladies anytime I get on here, these guys act like you ever saw the episode of the Chappelle Show when Charlie Murphy talked about the first time he met Prince and was hanging out with that guy Nikki Free, and then people thought Nikki Free was a chick. Say, Shalimar got a new girl. She fine as a motherfucker. And anytime I get a new girl out here, they act like you're Nikki Free and just got on Shalimar. So guys, calm down. Be respectful and just we have a conversation. So so you started 93, the 90s. I think 90s was really, I think, was the best time for bodybuilding, especially for women, because at the time you had, Linda Murray, who was a champion. You had people like Denise Rusowski. Also, one of the most popular shows that had quite a few bodybuilders was American Gladiators. You had the late Time Knight. You also had Ray Holick. I mean, I think that was, I was called that was like the silver age for women's bodybuilding around about the 90s.
Well, when so in '96, I met my husband at 96. He was a bodybuilder from the 90s, and he was in the lifestyle, and I didn't know anything. I was just doing my thing, and so we became friends, and then he showed me how to use the gym and showed me more of a lifestyle for bodybuilding. Of course, those men bodybuilders back then, they weren't into really lifting compound movements and strength. Theirs was all a lot of look, not all of them, but most of them were, into the look, and they didn't need to do a lot of that. He never did heavy squats and heavy compound movements. So I learned most of those on my own. And I believe that they were important, but it's really important to take the time and really learn how to do the form. And I've changed it a lot too since the past. I'd say in 2018, I actually switched my high bar squat to a low bar squat, which was completely different. And it involved a lot more core and a lot more movement, but seems to be safer. So those movements, those compound movements have always stuck with me and give me a density that other bodybuilding women on stage didn't have. So, then I was a light heavyweight and I could get on stage and just be this like thick box. And since I'm a light heavyweight, those women were taller. They were in the, 5'4", 5'7", and so their muscles were not. I'm not dissing them at all, but I'm just saying I had an advantage because I was short and wide. So anyway,
yeah, I think often,
but
it's a shorter girls seem like they can really put on muscle a little bit better, because especially anything between, I would say, between 5 feet to maybe about 5'3", because it seems like it's more like it's easy for you just to put on the muscle because you're more compacted compared to the taller women, where it takes a lot more. Like, remember like people like the late Nicole Bass, she was like 6'1", and she really she put on the muscle later on because she took certain things to really get that muscle. But it was like women like a lady you most definitely, we talked earlier on that Alicia Young, who she is like about 5'3". She puts on muscle, and also she puts on other stuff too, but that's the situation. But it's just the aesthetics of, I think genetics comes in to kick in when you talk about we're dealing bodybuilding. It's about how you build, how you train, how you work out. And like you said, your husband, he didn't do a lot of what a lot of competitors do, a lot of the heavy lifting and stuff like that. And they was just more like maintaining the look compared to anything.
I didn't want that because I really wasn't. Once so I really did my education in the gym after I had babies, because we had three kids in diapers at the same time. So we had four babies. One was a toddler, and so we switched back and forth who got to work out and when. And so I was always, 4 a.m. That was the best time to go. And I really studied on, the form and the workouts and being safe. And I tried to really keep my ego down. I didn't like the bench press was the hardest movement to actually increase weight on. I mean, you know, like with legs, you can throw 45s on, you know, when you're increasing because your legs are so strong, but the chest and the bench press was really hard. And I finally got that up to like 185 was a steady weight for me. But then after so I had shoulder surgery in 2021, and I haven't been able to get it back up since then. But I'm not really worried about that, but because it's going to be a process. You know, you got to rehab it. You got to be really careful to let all the tendons catch up. And you have to be consistent. That's where you have to really be consistent with your practice. The home gym is great for rehabbing and practicing. So, and I busted out here better than I do at the gym, you know, because if you walk in the gym with a sling, like I had one arm in the gym, and it's like everybody, their energy is just so like, oh my God, what happened to you? And, oh, what'd you do that? Lifting weights. And then it just gets in your head and you're just like, would you just leave me alone? So I just isolated myself to the house because I couldn't stand, you know, I couldn't stand all that. Oh, the story of everybody's injury, and it just sits in your head and you're like, never going to heal that way. So, but I had a shoulder tear. It was from a construction job and then not being able to rest, but my bicep dropped, and then my shoulder tore, and then my bicep tore. And then the doctor was supposed to fix it all in one surgery, and he skipped the bicep and let it drop. So my bicep was sitting down here. And I don't know why he ignored that on that surgery, but I had to go in and get another surgery to pull it up a year later, which we were worried that after a year, that tendon's sitting down there, that it's not going to be able to, you know, be reattached. But I was fortunate that I took care of myself. And so now we're back in the grind, but it'll probably never reach its peak. You know, it will never reach its peak like it used to, because I used to have a big peak on it. But what am I going to do? At least I can use it.
Well, you know, she did a little flex for you guys, so I hope y'all happy. So thank y'all. So there you go. Yeah, because
you know, support the page. See, now look at that peak.
Yeah, it's peak. Yeah.
So that's my left, and that never had a peak, so now it does. So
yeah, it's compensating because the loss for the right. So sometimes it happens like that. We have here some comments here, some guys here. We got here from my man here. You know, Balls Deep. He says, you know, he says this. He says, she's swole. Sexy and swole as AF. Also, my man KS says, I'm liking her traps and shoulders. And also, you know, and this is Balls. He says, you know, how's your day, sweetie? And this is from a man here. He's talking about your husband. He says, you know, he said he was a, you know, he said your husband was he was a lucky man, you know. And
he was a lucky man.
Yeah. And KL says the 90s was the time when I first noticed the women in bodybuilding. I've been noticing since the 80s because I've been following about it since I was when I was younger. Because my brother.
So I'll tell you the first time that I saw a female bodybuilder. And I mean, I still didn't know anything, but I was out on a date with this. He was quite a bit older than me. He was maybe 4 than me. I remember he took me to a party, and I think that he was breaking up with his girlfriend, but they were like a long-time couple. And he wasn't a big guy. He was really a little guy. And I remember being in the party, and I didn't really watch anyway, because he just, you know, didn't float my boat. But his girlfriend walked in. Well, the one that he was breaking up with, and she's huge. She was Alicia Young, huge. She was beautiful. Her legs were just massive. And I was just like, wow. And I didn't know anything about lifting weights, and I didn't know it, but I remember she was a cheerleader, and she was probably in college because I was in middle school when she was going into high school. So, but anyway, so that was the first time I saw it. And I remember being impressed, and I thought, well, she's too good for him. And so then I broke up with him.
So you're a home wrecker.
I am, but later on, I used to do go-go back in the late 80s. So that was, you weren't allowed to do anything raunchy. It was really straight up fun go-go down in the clubs in Jersey, because I'm originally from New Jersey. And I was always like skinny fat. Every club that I would go to, the really nice ones, they were like, "Well, you're too fat," and I was just like, whatever. So, but there was nothing I could do about it. It was just, I was just a thick girl. And I remember everybody in the clubs that I did work in, they used to tell me I should be a bodybuilder, and I still didn't know what they were talking about. Like, who knows? I knew it was my destiny, because here I am. I wish I could go back and be like, yeah, I listened to you all. But anyway, I mean, I never tried either.
Yeah, so look at all of this now. Yeah, look at all this.
It wasn't like I tried, though. I mean, it just happened. It was, my body is an accident. But my father he was like 5'4", and he was just a short box of muscle, never lifted weights, but he was a steeplejack, like an iron worker. So he ran on scaffolds and stuff. So, I mean, he was strong, and my sisters are also short and thick and boxy. So I have a daughter that has big biceps. Her biceps are bigger than mine. She doesn't lift weights at all. So, I mean, it's crazy that the genetics, that I have really, really good genetics. I know all the bodybuilders say that we're genetic, but I am. Yeah. I've got great genetics, and you all will know it. Never let anybody forget it.
Made me think of one of my favorite. I used to like him back in the day before he became a heel. That is Scott Steiner. When he came on himself called Big Pocket Pump, he says, "I'm a genetic freak, and y'all are nothing." And and it's just that's just genetics is the factor for quite a few people, men and women in the bodybuilding world. Genetics is a factor, but sometimes hard work also is a factor. Because sometimes
the genetics can be a deterrent a lot of times, and it was for me competing, because sometimes when you're gifted, you tend to be lazier. So if you have like, I don't need to do that because I have this, and then that competitor who doesn't have the genetics will come up and wipe you off stage because she put in the work. So sometimes having it is not always the best thing. I mean, if you're thinking like I did not really have what it took to be a pro. I just knew I didn't. I just I knew I have the body, but up here I just do too many things to that they don't want. So, and I'm not very unpredictable. So anyway, I found that when I knew that I was genetically gifted in something, like let's say like my back, and I remember doing an amateur show in 2006. It was my first amateur show, and I did the first show and won, and then qualified for nationals. But that's when the qualification was 2 years. You had 2 years to get to national from an amateur. So I'm like, yeah, 2 years, and then so I went trophy hunting for another show, and I lost. That was in Vegas as the Jay Cutler. I think Jay Cutler was the guest poser there, but anyway, I lost because I ate a gallon of ice cream the week before the show. Who does that? But it was when you're first dieting, you just you go in a frenzy, and it ruined my look. It smoothed me out, and I just remember that girl had a great back, and so did I, but I knew that I hadn't developed it. And so then I took 2 years and went back and restructured my back to have a better look. And so those amateur shows are great for you improving yourself before you think, you're ready to get on national level stage.
Yeah. I remember I was interviewing a lady, her name is Marika Jones. She's an IB pro. She remember when she started, one time she ate like a bunch of gelato. And it was like maybe a couple of days for the show, and she realized that it really kind of she just got bloated. And the thing is, that's the process of building your body food is important, but it's the right kind of
Yeah.
food you want to eat. Well, here we got a man, KL Wonder. He has a question. I think it's an issue.
Okay.
He's noticed it. I noticed it too. Does she has earphones? There's a moment her sound is in and out. It might be a problem with her Wi-Fi. Sometimes depending when you add your Wi-Fi can be a little funny. But it's something I think But
I
yeah,
don't have earphones.
yeah.
I do, but I think the battery's dead on those.
Yeah, yeah. Sometimes if she's using a laptop, sometimes I don't know why this happens with laptops. Because then what I usually do, I try to hook my laptop directly into the jack of my modem. But yeah, that's how sometimes it works. But phone sometimes is good. But if you still, we can have a good conversation. I just catch a few things in there, but we still have a good conversation.
Can you hear me okay,
Yeah, I can hear you
George?
fine. Yeah, I can hear
Okay.
you fine. Yeah,
All right.
it's just like
You
it's gonna have a little
you
space
can
here.
translate.
Yeah, I can't relive like that. But he also has a question. He says, "This
Okay.
is what division she does." Well, she used to compete in bodybuilding because I think when you
It's a light heavyweight. I
light
was a
heavyweight,
light heavyweight bodybuilder.
yeah, and this is like when you started. I think physique didn't really come out just yet. You
No,
know,
they brought that in, and so I was one of the group of in 2011. Then they eliminated female bodybuilding. That's in 2011 is when they started bikini and physique. And we were just trying to get our body ready for bodybuilding, and then they were like, "Okay, we don't want it anymore." So I'm kind of like the one of them that fell into that zone where we were preparing for bodybuilding because I was growing. I was growing. I was ready. But it was kind of like, okay, I'm glad they did that because I just didn't want to do it anymore. I didn't have the competing kind of screwed up my love for lifting, to tell you the truth. All of it did. It really just took the love for lifting away because you're just worried about what you look like and, how big are you and all that. And I just do a lot better when I'm not focused on that. But I'm not worried at all about losing. But I feel bring a great package up there and be a worthy contender. And that's what I think is, I mean, I'm not going to be a pro. I'd already decided that, but I will, they need good contenders on stage, right? All of them do. You got to have somebody up there worthy to give you your run for your money. And I'm one of those.
yeah.
See?
Yeah, I think it's like I said with bodybuilding was getting pushed out because back in the day it was like I think because as the divisions were starting to grow and change, you had like you go from Linda Murray to Kim Zavetsky to Iris Kyle now to the current champ Anya Shaw, and even with the new division like physique, the girls are starting to look they even go past the idea of physique was like going back to Linda Murray. But now they even surpassing Larry Murray. They're looking more closer to,
Yeah.
Iris Kyle. You see some of these girls now. There's some ladies that follow,
Uh-huh.
and some of the ladies say, "I don't want to go to visit because there's not much there. They don't want to go to bodybuilding because there's not much there." But I remember one lady told me said it's not body breaking, it's bodybuilding. So, and we talked about this. I do a live stream with some people, and we talked about how unless you can pull yourself back, we start seeing yourself developing and getting those assertions, you're getting those full muscle bellies, everything's getting bigger. If unless you can pull yourself back, you gotta have a choice. You either you pull back or you go up. We have here, this is from KL. He asked a question. He says, what made her do construction? She was talking about her father. Her father did construction. Also, he said
Well, I did. I had a business that, I mean, I really couldn't afford labor. I couldn't afford a company to come in and build what I really wanted, which was a simple project, but I didn't know anything about construction. So, with my other profession, I mean, I used my arms all day, and then I was going at night to this building this framing and putting tile up, and it was hard work. And I don't think women should be doing construction. I am not at all going to sit here and say I can do whatever a man can do, because it was hard. And but we did it, and I got the business up and running. I don't want to really talk about what it is and all that, but yeah, it wrecked me. And then, I was still training every day. In fact, I think I was in the best shape of my life right before my surgery, I'd have to say, because I just said, screw it. I'm going to do this. I'm going in to get surgery. I'm on well, but I was walking in the gym and people were pissed. So
Mhm.
anyway,
Yeah, you just
I
like
don't
I
care.
see. We talked earlier. So I used to work a good bit, but not much like I used to anymore. I go to Planet Fitness, and I know a lot of bodybuilders. They shit on Planet Fitness because they call it like a Walmart version of a gym company. And I think one thing is that they say that I remember when I was talking with one lady who said like she went to Planet Fitness one day and she was just wearing shorts and a tank top and they say, "Hey, ma'am, I think we don't want you here." I say, "Why?" It was already other girls who were wearing shorts and tank top, but like the thing is, she was a bodybuilder, and
Yeah,
they say that intimidation factor.
harassment. I got it too. I went to Planet Fitness with a friend of mine, and we were working out there together. And the trainer who was working there, she first put a sign up at the door that said, "Please, no outside training allowed here. You're going to take Holly's job from her." Boo-hoo. So then another girl came up to me, well, and I wasn't training her. We were just working out together. And so then the trainer's client came up to me and she said, "I want to look like you." And she said her trainer told her that she could not look like me unless she was on steroids. So I was being slandered. I get slandered all the time about steroid use and, by trainers who think that, you can only achieve any kind of muscle look by taking supplements. And it really is kind of, it's very discouraging. And I really kind of get sick of that. So anyway, it took a lot of me not to say anything, but as the older you get, you have to pick your battles. So I chose, not going to do me any good to argue with this woman, even though she told her client, so she was gossiping about me. She doesn't know who I am, slandered me to her, and then, and then discouraged her from even thinking she could possibly gain what I gained without, it's because the trainer sucked and didn't know what to do to train that girl. That's what the problem is.
Yeah, because
So if anybody walks in and it looks like they know what they're doing, they immediately hate you. And the worst comes from male bodybuilders. It's not just the trainers that just either had lost a lot of weight and thought, "I'm a trainer now." Okay. So they're going, that's usually what happens, right? They lose a lot of weight. Now all of a sudden they're a trainer, or the male bodybuilders who look really good. I mean, I don't even have any bodybuilding friends. And well, I actually do have two good weightlifting friends, but they're not like bodybuilders. I don't even think I've seen them with their shirts off. But yeah, the other ones, they know that females have to work harder. You definitely have to work harder in order to achieve it, but it's definitely not possible, not impossible,
yeah, yeah.
So
That's the thing.
anyway,
It's like
fuck
one
Planet
thing. The
Fitness.
one thing also is that fact is, yeah, steroids is, even though some people do use it, it's a small factor of it. But if you don't follow your diet,
Yeah,
you don't train, you don't be consistent, you can't build the body you want to
right.
build. Most of the time it's more of the non-competitive people that use it. It's like
Yeah.
it's also used in a lot more mainstream sports. Right now I do content on MMA. I follow MMA right now. There's USADA. If you've heard of that, is the United States Drug Enforcement, the drug testing program they do. They use it for Olympic level competitors, professional athletes, and UFC trying to get out of it under contract from under it. But if you can't build your body just popping pills. It's nothing. It doesn't work like that. You have to follow a diet. You have to follow a plan. You have to work like this and this and that and that. Everything has to be within the order. You have to have a plan, a set plan, a set program. Like you have to sometimes like what's your favorite workout and what's your least favorite workout when you go to the gym?
Um, I I don't have a least favorite. I go in there and bust it out, man. That's what I'm about. I work it out. I love it all.
Hmm.
I can't even tell you that I have a favorite workout. I mean, I just love it all. I just love walking in the gym, and then I put my mind into it. I can't wait to lift up the iron, and I just can't wait to get my body moving.
Yeah.
So right now, legs are my favorite because after my hip flexor, I fell roller skating, and I've never roller skated as a muscle person. And don't do it when you're 54. So,
I won't do it at
but
50.
I felt hard. I mean, it's like because I have no fat on my body, so when I fell, I hit hard. It just wrecked my hips. So once I got treatment for that, muscle muscle therapy, where they muscle activation. I'm sorry, and I've been doing that for over a year, and now I'm better than before I got hurt. Like everything is just working better, and then my core is just it's fabulous. I mean, I can do things that are, it all leads to the other. So I mean, if you notice, I'm not squatting with a belt, but my core is strong with the weights that I am using, that I can get away with it. So I am doing a lot of core when I'm squatting or doing any kind of compound movements. It's all within sucking that gut in, and I'm excited about what my legs are going to look like just because they feel new. So, I mean, my doctor said, don't you wish you knew, or don't you wish you felt like this, years ago? I go, hell no. I go, if I brought myself to where I am, injured or misaligned, imagine what I'm going to do, in perfect alignment. So, I mean, I'm excited. I'm very excited.
Well, that's good. Like I say, it's tough because I know especially when you like predators, we get to the point where you got very low body fat, especially for women. You can be. I think somebody said it's basically the basic. They said that women should never be anything below 10% when it comes to their BMI. And when you're that, we don't have that much fat for cushioning. Yeah, I know some ladies that sit in the chair sometimes they be hurting, especially when they're getting ready for a show, and it's like sitting on pins and needles. We have a comment here from NKL. He says, "Okay, show off you and your 80s discovery." Yeah, yo. Also, he says, "Foxy, how long would you say that you obtained the knowledge of bodybuilding?" So, like I said, you've been started since the good, like how long?
93. I'm in my 31st year. I'm going into my 31st year, and I haven't veered far off from my foundation. So, and I have to tell you that I've stayed since 2010. That was my heyday, was 2010. And then I was like, okay, I'm gonna dial in on this diet, and then my body just, so I decided after a contest that, well, there's no reason why I should get out of shape after the contest, because I just loved how I felt so much. And there was a reasonable place I could maintain my body at like 9%, 9 to 8%, and still get a menstrual cycle, and still feel healthy and good. And so by staying in that for so long, my body is like used to that now. It's like its state that it would choose to be in is the low body fat. So and then when I kept saying, okay, when I can, I'll jump back into a show, then I only be like, 8 to 6 weeks out of a show. I'm always look like I'm show ready. So you never know if I like, okay, maybe I'll jump into a show and then I won't have as much work to do.
Yeah. Well, folks, we're going to show a video because she doesn't have, other than her YouTube channel, she doesn't have a lot of social media platforms. But
any.
I did, yeah, I know it's just
Sorry.
one thing. They'll be sorry. That's how it is sometimes. And a lot of ladies, they want to be private, but but we do have, as I do some research, I found some videos. I found a competition video, and this was from back in 2011. And
yeah. Which one is it? Blue suit or the pink?
I'll surprise you. It should be
here. I worked really hard on those competition. All right, so take and put that. Can you pull it to like the 1 minute mark?
Okay, let me just.
Yeah, there's like there's a part in that video where yeah, and I didn't even diet for this. There you go, right there.
Right here.
A little bit further.
And
right there.
Right there.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to play it. She looks very impressive. You got the big smile as always.
So that was right after nationals, and I needed to requalify. So
Yeah, we're not playing the music for because you know how YouTube is, so we just go watch her flex and perform. I know you guys, you love
Well, the
watching. Like,
music does it justice. You got to play it.
you
Nobody's gonna.
know, YouTube, they any kind of music that's copyrighted, I can't play it. That's the danger of
Well,
YouTube.
they haven't copyrighted my video yet.
Well, the video is fine, but the music, that's the thing. So it's pretty good routine. Nice, you move it around. Just
But
what was
it's
that
to the
feel?
music. It doesn't. You can't watch that without listening to the
I
music.
know, but YouTube, I've been on YouTube for a good while now, and they are very strict
I
about
trust you.
copyright.
I trust you.
Copyrighted, yeah, because if they find it, they either take down the video or they might bleep out the music. So either way, you can't win for losing.
Yeah, that was a disaster. That morning was that whole thing was a disaster for me. I mean, I can't even believe I was up there posing, but there I was. But the thing that happened after that is I went down to the audience to go say hi to my kids after I was done this, and I guess Phil Heath was supposed to get on stage and guest pose. Well, when I went down into the audience swamped me because I think they thought I was the guest poser. So everybody was taking pictures and the show got stopped, and the promoters are quite angry at me for that whole episode. And I didn't have any control over it. But if I was to end on a note, that would have been a really great note to end on. They really made me feel special. So I had a picture of me and Phil Heath at that show. He would not do a most muscular with me in the backstage. I'm going to see if I can find it. If there's a way where would I send it to your email?
Yeah, that's probably the best way because because you don't have IG, you can send it to IG, but you can send it to my email, and
And
I
then
could
maybe you
probably
can see it. Okay, let me
yeah
find it. But
yeah.
it was a good show.
Well,
Um,
yeah, I know. Like I said, the most muscular, especially for you ladies in bodybuilding, us smos, that's the most arousing pose y'all do. I don't know. So it's just about how we look at your shoulders, you see your traps, you see your pecs, you see how the
yeah.
muscles. I think there's a lady that I think she does it every now and then. She was very popular. That's Renee Marvin. She used to do it quite often. I remember though Betty Parisa was doing it a lot because they told her she wasn't scoring so well at the shows. So she started doing the most muscular because it helped her, better her chances if she's competing at a show. I mean, it's a very is if you're a fan of female bodybuilding, it's a very exciting, very interesting, very arousing pose. But people don't understand that you ladies you work hard for what you do. I mean, you like I said, you have you said 4 kids, you're raising 4 babies, and you gotta work and do this and do that, and it's a lot. And like I said, like Ronnie Coleman says, like everybody wants to be a bodybuilder, but no one want to lift that heavy ass weight. And the time you got to take, the sacrifice you got to make, and I know there's days where you don't want to go to the gym. There's days you don't want to do this. You want to spend time with the kids. You want to just shut the house. Especially, it's something about food is the factor about bodybuilding. Like, when you eat, you have to eat something that's clean. You have to eat stuff that's high in protein or low in this, or you have to drop water and lots of. Who's your coach at the time when you were competing?
I'm a solo person. I mean, my husband was at the time the only other person that um, could direct me just based on what he knew, but there was still like a factor in the dieting and everything that was all my own. So I didn't have a coach. In fact, in 2008, I was completely natural, not caffeine or anything. I mean, I competed at nationals. I just went there by myself and got on stage, and I was a lightweight, and I was, I think, 110 pounds. But everybody had coaches, and everybody had, and at that year, I was my husband and I were not on the same page. So he was just like, I don't want you to go down there. You look like an Ethiopian. And I was really adamant on not doing drugs. I was going to do this without it. I felt like it was necessary for my education and for my body. And it was a good run. I don't know if you might find a 2008 photo. I'm trying to look for, I had to buy a computer last night. And so the pictures that I had picked out for you were on that computer, which I can't get to. So anyway, so I did hire a coach in 2018 only because I'd never had a coach. So I thought this would be really fun to join a gym and have a coach. And then I could just go to work and then they could set my diet up. But I don't need you to train me as far as like, I don't need you to teach me how to lift weights. You can't really take an older bodybuilder and make her do all these stupid things in your gym. You know, it was the first thing I told this coach was, look, I can't run for cardio. I can't do sprints for cardio. My hamstrings can't handle it. Oh yeah. You just do it this way. What happens the first week of sprinting, I pull a hamstring, and then that hamstring was out for the competition. And then you're like, well, I only hired you just to do my prep, which means be with me, let me know that I look good. Tell me where I'm off. You don't need to take over. That happens with older people a lot. So I'll never do that again. I'll never hire anybody again. I think I got enough in me the experience of having a coach was something I experienced, and I got this far without it. So why not,
Yeah, it's a process. Sometimes some people, they rely on a coach because it really helps them with knowledge or something like that. Bodybuilding is, truthfully, people like this. It's a solo competition, but it takes a team to build the body.
Yeah. My husband would be the one I would give credit to. He was very careful with me, and he was very supportive. He was more supportive over me when I was on a bodybuilding diet than when I was pregnant. So he understood that competition and the bodybuilding. He had more empathy for me during that time than he did when I was pregnant, because he could understand that. But so that's who I would give my credit to. The father of my children. He was there, and I would still go to him today if I needed any help with anything. I would still bounce with him because I trust him, and he was very careful with me. We had a couple of mishaps with like diuretics and stuff, and like in 2011, I shouldn't have been on stage because I went into cardiac arrest the night before we were in Vegas, and it was really scary because I just knew something was off. The whole prep, everything, I should have just canceled, but I went anyway, and I bombed it. But I fixed my mistakes for 2015. Went up there as a light heavy, and then I lost 2 points from 2 points away from my pro card. And what are you gonna do?
Yeah. We know was the last year we had a bunch of deaths for bodybuilders like Joyce and Sean Roden, Cedric McMillan, Road Dog John Mellows. One day I was talking to Miss her name was I think, what was it?
I saw her interview with you, and I was very sad over that.
Yeah, Rhonda Lee Charisma, she had terminal cancer, and she was a great lady. We became friends. Sometimes she used to call me now and then. We text, and it's just it's one thing about being a bodybuilder. People don't realize that some things happen even in life. Like it's not all about bodybuilding. Yeah, it's extreme healthy sport, but it's that extreme part that really hurts a lot of people. If you're not careful, you don't know what you're doing. We have here this is from my man KL. He says everyone learns from their mistakes. Yes, we learn. That's how
I did.
Also, that's good that she has heart for the sport, even if she thinks that she's not going to turn pro. Yeah, right. And also he says she keeps it real, not to do the same thing as a man. That's the thing, is people that realize men and women are different. We're both we're the same species. We're both humans, but men and women are different type of humans. We're different type of animals.
I will tell you who I trained with when I was competing. When I first started competing, that was Arnold. I had his encyclopedia. I had Arnold's Bodybuilding of Encyclopedia of Bodybuilding, and I just the nights when you're up, you're nervous, and I spent endless hours of posing on his advice in his books, standing in the mirror with a timer, holding and flexing, and just he really did the instinctive training principle. I had that naturally. Everything that he did instinctively, I felt like our brain was on the same wavelength, and I felt like he was always talking. I still love him, even though people say things. I still love him. You saw, I don't know if you can see the talent. He did a special on Netflix. Arnold did a documentary on Netflix where he was talking about doing the tally marks, squat, tally mark, squat, tally mark, and that's my wall is all chalkboard. I'll show you I'll turn on the light. And so my wall is a chalkboard paint, and then it's just tally marks, and it's great progress. And you do more work when you're tracking it that way. So, but he talked about the instinctive training principle, and I knew what he was talking about. I understood that. And then I tailored myself after Franco Colombo, because he was a short, strong Italian man, which I am Italian. So, and I'm short. So you have to find somebody that you can copy. Like I couldn't copy Arnold in the poses, but I could copy Franco very well because we had the same structure. And I also followed Lisa Auckland was on my wall, on her routines were fabulous. And I just wanted to bust out a routine like her. And I did in 2015. It's that 45-second video in the blue suit. And that was amazing.
I think I got that video because I was going through your IG and I pulled it up. We're going to pull it up here. This is my man, Kale. He gave me some advice. He says, like, you're not going to get a strike, George. I don't think, if she's competing with the song, but you in charge. Well, I'm not certain, man, because like I said again, YouTube is always
just do the next one and give. I don't think they'll strike you because it's just like 45 seconds of instrumental.
Okay, we'll take the chance because you know what, I don't want them to come after me. I'm gonna hijack your YouTube.
But then you can mute it.
Yeah, okay. Well, we're gonna show it. We'll play the music.
I'm still looking for pictures for you too.
All right, you take your time. So we're right here on her. This is from, I think this is the blue suit. We'll take off the mute.
Blue suit,
and we'll play it.
Okay, wait for it.
And she did the crab pose, most muscular. Yeah. And I think we just had a lot of schmoes just ruin their shorts.
No.
It's just, that pose is just, they, for a good while they were telling women, don't do the pose. But I remember when Puerto Rico, when Betty Pariso started doing it, it helped her place it in her scoring. So again, it's a very, it's for people who don't like it because it's supposed to be a man's pose. But when you ladies do it, like I know Alicia, she does it. And when she does it, well, it's more distracting with her because she has, but like I said, it's just like I said, we just look at the muscle, we look at the chest, we look at the pecs, we look at the arms, it's just a focus on just putting all that muscle together. Go, yeah, baby. But the thing is, you talk about Arnold, as any person, I grew up watching the movies. I used to, you remember when I was a kid when like Saturday mornings after the cartoon goes off, you just show those commercials with Aluminum Siding, and you just show either two movies, either The Good and Bad and the Ugly or Conan the Barbarian. Yeah,
I
yeah,
remember that.
yeah. Or I think it was the other one was either a fistful of dollars. It was usually two or three of those movies you said a little sighting. And watch the Conan movies, watch the Terminator movies, watch his other movies, and then so I hear about him over, like the situation we have with him and the maid and him and other stuff here. And then he's screw your freedoms. I understand what he's talking about, but the thing is, you need to be worded carefully, especially here in America. He's been living here for practically 40, 50
Right?
years. Like I said, sometimes I'm like you. I'm getting older where I have no problem, but I choose my words wisely before I speak them. But even
Yeah.
sometimes you can't, things that go. But what he's done, what kind of when he, this is what I'm a big fan of the Batman Dark Knight trilogy series by Chris Nolan, and in Batman Begins, there's a comment that Liam Neeson, as Ra's al Ghul says to Bruce Wayne, you order to take the enemy, you walk quiet behind him, stab him in the heart. He did that to his bodybuilding. We pushed it out. The Mr. International pushed it out of the Arnold Schwarzenegger Classic. And this Mr. International was before the Arnold Schwarzenegger Classic. And then he took in 2 years later, 3 years later, I would now say, he pushed out physique. And then just last year, he pushed out figure. I'm saying, why push that figure? And only things left is fitness, and I would call them the two T and A divisions. That is, wellness and bikini. But women's bodybuilding, we just had a discussion this afternoon. Kale was part of it, and some other people who are pros. We're saying that women's bodybuilding is still, again, it's always everything like it's going to be on the fence. It's always like this, like back in '99 when there was almost no Miss Olympia. Then they changed the weight classes. Then boom, now it's just, and we strength came, and they gave it new life. But now, shout out to Jake Woods. Every time when I say Jake name, I got to do this. Jake, Jake. I want that money. I want that gun. That's Denzel for Training Day. Every time I say Jake's name. But, it's just as a fan of you ladies, I respect what you are. I respect you, but also there's that other guy. He's a particular type of criminal. And he finds you. And to you, Jackie, you are beautiful.
Thank you.
You're welcome. He's one of my multiple personalities. Yeah, I know. I mean, one time I was doing my man KL. He also does content and interview ladies in bodybuilding. He was interviewing Bill Dobbins, and he asked me to come in. I got to talk about Bill Dobbins, the legend. He's a guy who photographed all of the ladies, made that book, The Woman. I got a guy who knows. I saw that book. I always wanted to get it. It was too expensive when I was coming up. I couldn't afford it when I was younger, but he saw me do it for him, and he said, "Nah, you gotta be careful because we might think that weird." But sometimes some women like a little laugh every now and then. That's why I enjoy doing it. So 2015.
Can I upload pictures to the chat?
Not to the chat per se. If you can post it, can you post it? You can post it on here. There should be, you can send it to me if you can. Or I think I got some pictures.
I just sent you 2 pictures to your email.
Okay, all right.
Because I'm in the chat now.
All right, yeah. You can't post any pictures in the chat.
No, that sucks.
Yeah, it doesn't work like that. It's next to impossible post. I got the pictures here, and I'm going to download them, and I will post them in the I can post them here on StreamYard, but it doesn't work like that. See, this is why you need IG, because IG you can post the pictures. I can put them over here. I know, but that's your choice.
We don't know how to do this kind of stuff.
I'm not that far old from you, but I had to learn.
I'm not technical at all. I mean,
you got kids, don't they? They can help you. You got babies.
You know how hard it is to get your kids to help you. I mean, for me to be down here trying to make a video, this is Foxy. We're in Foxy Flex's studio, right? And I really have to bribe my kid to come down and videotape. And he went to video school. It's like, so I just say, screw it. I'm going to put the camera on it.
You shouldn't bribe for shit. You shouldn't bribe. You wipe his tail. You fed his face. You can't get that money back. He owes you. So like say, pay what you owe. That's what you're supposed to pay what you owe. The kids nowadays saying, you don't have to bribe me for anything. My mom didn't buy me anything. She said, hey, I fed you. I took care of you. I make sure you have something on your clothes on your back and food in your stomach. And, if she borrowed money from me, I have to kiss that money goodbye. And my mother, was my woman. I loved her. This is a picture right here. And
so that was the one I was saying that my first national when I went down by myself. natural.
Oh.
So I'm completely natural in that picture.
Yeah, natural. That's the thing is that's pretty good for natural. Now, how is natural's getting a lot popular now in the last few years because I think there's a show coming up in Virginia. It's the Ben Weeder natural show, and it's really getting popular. Some competitors even in the IFB pro level are natural. I know I did an interview with a lady who also competes in OCB in natural. And also, there's some. I think I did if you relate who she said she wants to say natural, but it's hard to say natural because it's a different level of muscle compared to the
Yeah,
enhanced competitors.
if you there's a now that's the picture with me and Phil Heath where he would not do a most muscular with me.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, Mr. Big Feet. I heard stuff about him. I think him and Kai Green didn't get along too well.
I love
Yeah.
to know he's been at all. He's been um, at most of the shows when I started. I remember before when he just turned to pro, he was a guest poser. So he's a great guy. I really like him. I really like Victor Martinez as well. He's always great. I can't wait to see him when I was attending the shows. He was one of my favorites. But I used to have people that I was a fan of. There was a couple females from the 90s that I remember going down to Vegas and the show had a big expo at the time, and I remember the popular female pro walked by, and I was like, "Oh my God, can I get your picture? My husband would love this. You're all he talked about, And she did not have the time of day to, allow me to take a picture of her. And so then I think it was after that I decided that, well, I'm just going to put myself on my wall,
Yeah.
because, you ain't nothing.
Yeah,
you think you something, you ain't nothing.
it's like that. What was it that part bad? When Michael says, "You ain't nothing, you ain't nothing." Here's I got this picture right here because I always try to keep research. This is her doing the most muscular. Oh yeah, guys.
Yeah, there's my disaster
Yeah.
show. I wish I could just eliminate that show from my
But
memory.
it's just we don't care because we're looking at the most muscular. We look at your
I
pectorials.
know.
We're getting
What
excited.
is this Curtis thing? I'm not saying anything bad, but where are you nervous doing your private pose? Because I really like that one. Which one is he talking about?
Or I think Curtis. I think Curtis L. Jordan Jr. Ma'am, I'm not saying anything bad or anything, but you are nervous. Were you ever nervous doing your private pose? Because I really like that one. So he was saying, were you? I think he was talking about your poses that you're competing. Were you ever nervous when you were on stage? As you were competing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm an entertainer by nature, so like the whole time that I was going in 2015, the blue suit that you just did, I kept manifesting in my head, I'm going to steal the show. I'm going to steal. And I did. They were on their feet for that most muscular, I didn't manifest a pro card, but I mean, I knew that I wanted to like present a really good routine that is going to be on the internet the rest of my life. Right. And so, yeah, I was nervous, but that was probably the most relaxed that I ever was but there's still something inside that I didn't pull out. There's something in there. It was probably something that I did before the show, or maybe I didn't eat, or, you always know what you did wrong. Mm-hmm. And it will sit in your brain when you're on stage. So if you cheat on your diet, it's going to say, if you miss your cardio and then you're not feeling up to par, it's going to sit up in your head when you're on stage, and you're going to know you could possibly, trick your mind into thinking, well, I'm just going to lose because I did that or that or that. So yeah, there was always something in here that I didn't pull all the way out, but that was my best.
Yeah, it's good that you did your best, and that's all that matters. And everybody don't like it, that's on them. It's like I said, it's tough to be a woman in this sport, and because society is not ready or acceptable. Yeah, who you got here? Some comments. We got
yes, I still have turtle shell abs.
Yeah, turtle shell abs. Also, he says this is Rep 32. Can she do the most muscular? I don't know if she wants to or not. That's up to her.
I will, but you got to send something out to George. Take care of George.
Yeah. Well, like I said, that's why I don't ask. 'Cause, sometimes you ladies get tired of posing.
I'll do it for you.
You don't have to, because I don't force anybody to do anything they want to. But that's up to you.
Okay.
Okay.
So,
But
did you have any more questions?
well, yeah, we could say we were talking how you were going through the situation with your medical issues, you know, and that really forced you out of competition between your shoulder surgeries and stuff like that, or you just feel like you just
No,
were done.
no, no. My businesses. Well, yeah, it's like my businesses. I really had to focus on them, my careers, and I was trying to even think about maybe doing a show this year, only because I want to do the prep. I really want to do my body really, really wants to do the prep. But financially, it's like I could take that money and probably build another business, you know. And then I've got some family things that I think need more of my attention. And I kind of feel like, after raising four kids and then now they're all, out of the house and grown up, and as I reflect a little bit on their childhood, I never really let them suffer, anybody suffer because of my dieting. I always cooked for everybody. I attended all the birthdays, made all the cakes without eating or trying it. But there's something about the selfishness that I feel like I neglected something from them so I could go out and get on stage. And I don't know if I can forgive myself for that, part that I maybe deprived them of something because it's a selfish sport. It's very hard as a mother knowing that, what if my kid wanted to do something and we were all focused on me, and we were really focused on me. And it was selfish of me to do that to them. So anyway, I don't know if I have a heart for it.
Yeah, well, like I said, it's about the process of this sport, and a lot of people, a lot of ladies do it for the love of it, and then after a while, when you don't have the love for it, you walk away and you just enjoy your life. You had kids that needed you more, and like I said, when you feel like you want to go back to it, the sport's going to be here. It's not going anywhere anytime soon. I think you know one thing I would say this: I would wish that the sport was more profitable for you competitors, where you can make a living out of it. Other than, like, I know a lot of ladies, they do stuff on the side to try to make their money. That's what they do. Other ladies maintain a job. I have people, like, when sometimes guys saying like, she does OnlyFans. Well, I don't know that, so why that matter? Why is that important? If this sport was where which was like any other sport in which, okay, you make some money from it. You do a pretty good job. You don't have to worry about you or your kids. You say I can retire right off to the sunset. Like, one thing, if even in amateur level, you should have like a pension. It should be care. There should be more concern for you athletes. So if something happens, like you get sick or something happens, you're taken care of. This is my personal belief. Maybe I'm a little bit polyamorous when I'm thinking about this, but I think you're the product. We come to see you. We come to see that. We don't come to see this person or that person who's not even on the stage doing
It's
anything.
very true. When the
Yeah.
women get up there, everybody's looking at them.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody.
Yeah.
And you can, and I don't, that's why I do not understand why they took it away from us, because the buzz when the female bodybuilders are ready to get on there, the buzz is amazing. The audience is buzzing. That's why I wanted to steal the show and give them a good routine. And it's, even though it's 45 seconds and you have to display everything in that little bit of time, that's what they come to see, that, right?
Yeah.
That's what you come to see. And when the guys get up there, or, mostly everybody goes to the expo because they want to see us,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. I remember this is a female boxer I used to be a fan of back in the day. Her name is Ann Brown Sugar Wolf, and she compared men's boxing to women's boxing. Said when men fight, they act like they're making love. They do all that holding and stuff. When women fight, they go all out. And I've
Yeah.
seen, I do content on women boxing, mixed martial arts, and sometimes, yes, every now and then you get some boring female fights, but you see some fights where women go harder than the dudes. And
Mhm.
And like people like Andrea Shaw, people like most definitely Alicia Young, and also many other ladies in the sport. It's like I got to go to my first bodybuilding show last year, and I met some ladies at the interviews with. I met some ladies that I follow on social media. I met some legends like people like Annie Vecchio, who I beautiful physique. I loved her physique. She was the one like you, never had
Yeah, she's
tats,
beautiful.
grew
She is.
natural pecs. I
Uh-huh.
mean, just a great physique, classic. People like Sheila Black. I never met her, but I follow on social media. I mean, a while back she had some surgery, on her hip. And some ladies who have, I keep in contact. One lady who I've become really cool with. We are good friends, Miss Nancy Lewis. She was one of my earliest interviews. Me, and Nancy still talk. Sue Price, beautiful, great. She's short like you, great physique. I mean, she stepped away from sport, became a mom. Now she works for the postal service. And Wanda Lee, who was just a great darling. So they keep in contact. One lady who I really come cool, her name is Jada Beverly. She said the same thing about you. Talk about how you make a mistake on the stage. She was competing bodybuilding for a while. She took a break because she was doing some medical issues and stuff like that. She came back, did her first show, went back to physique, and she told me, said, George, I made a mistake. I should have flexed my abs when I was doing that pose. And that
Mm-hmm.
thing is, once you like she again, once you catch that, she said that was probably was the difference between her getting first place and getting second, and maybe going to Olympia. We got the man Vinny, and Vinny just said, plus there
Mm-hmm.
are not enough competition competitors to even get a pro card in women's bodybuilding. Only two competitors for almost every qualifier. Yes, there
And
was a
nobody
show.
wants to see them anyway.
Yeah, and that's the sad
They
part about it.
don't. They don't want to see. They don't want
Yeah,
to see the WBB.
and then plus, what it is that most of the women are doing physique shows where you have 20 girls, and many of those girls
Yeah.
can go over to women's bodybuilding and get all these. Hey, it can get your pro card that way and move on. But it's just also the perspective. You got as a pro, as amateur, you got to pay to compete. And that's the
When I went to my best show was my fifth place placing in 2010, and there were a lot of competitors. There were like 16 in my class. They had to bring us out in groups, and after that, it just wasn't the same after that year. But even though it was a fifth place win and I made it in the top 5, it was my best win because, it was worthy. Like, I mean, I remember going, oh man, I know her and I know her. I can't believe I'm here getting on stage with these girls. And, and I think they had me tied for fifth place was, I think, Karen Coates back then. So that was the Karen Coates, and you had a picture of the 5 of us on the
right here.
yeah. So and Kate Cooper, yes, and let's see, that's LaDawn
Yeah, looking at
McDay,
the
and that's
Don,
Jen Scarpetta.
and also
Yeah.
Natalie
So
Wolf right there in the back.
yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was me and the girl in the pink, Karen Coates, that were in competition for the 5th place, and then they gave it to me. And then and I got, some put me as 4th. I've read I was 4th, but I have a 5th place trophy, which I'll accept. But that was simply the best win, even though it wasn't second, it wasn't first, but it was worthy. It was great. And you wondered, I mean, if I had gone straight to nationals right after that show, I think I probably would have gotten my pro card.
Mm-hmm.
But I took it for advantage. I was 40 in that picture. So I was 40 years old, and I'm thinking, I'm going to just go to, take a year off and build more muscle and do all this. It was a mistake. I should have gone right to nationals that November, because that was the USA's, and they would have known me by then, and then I would have made a better stepping stone to get a pro card, because I missed my peak after that. After that, your peak is over, and then next thing you know, you're 50, and it's very hard to get that back, that crisp look, because now you've got skin issues. Or I don't have that many issues, but the age does. I don't want to be aged and up there. I still want to compete with the young girls. I don't want to do
Yeah.
masters,
Well, I
you know.
know I did an interview with one lady. She 61 years old, and she competes in open, and sometimes she does masters. She just did her debut about a couple of weeks ago. And but some ladies say, I did one lady who was like maybe a couple years younger than you, and she said she don't want to do masters. She don't want to do masters. But some women said, you know what? They do masters. The fact is, they feel like I'm not going to hold a candle to these girls who are, even these women who are even they're 40, 45, and I'm like 50 something years old. I feel comfortable. Sometimes it's about where you're comfortable, how you feel. Yeah, we got a comment here. I think you see it. You see what's the comment? Who's got a comment here? Let me say it. Okay. This is
Me, myself, and I. That doesn't make me
yeah,
single.
looking great, Jackie. Loving the new
Thank
ink.
you.
You said your husband was a
Yeah,
lucky man. Are you single these days? You said she said me, herself, and I. So yeah, I think that is guys like this guys, like when you see you
that's a
ladies,
triplet.
yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah,
fine.
yes, Chuck.
You're
Yes,
fine.
I Chuck.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you. But you guys, we see you like this, especially they follow you on social media, and they're like, oh yeah, they get excited. They get like we see your ladies all on stage and shredded. They get the little pop tent in the shorts, and this is true story. And this is true story. I shared this with a lady before. I said it quite often because I remember this is when I first started going to online because for a long time I didn't have a computer. I remember my first computer I got, and back in the day we used to have dial up. So sometimes you couldn't do it during the day because the phone, and your mom didn't want. So you wait till she's in the bed, only thing maybe somebody got hurt or killed. That's what time somebody called that late at night. So I'm on dial up. I'm on it was a chat room with these guys. We were talking about bodybuilding. And this guy said, "Hey kid, this your first time in here?" I said, yeah. So there's an old schmo saying. So what's the show saying? He says, "When you ladies rock hard, we'll rock hard." And this guy, he told a story how he went to a show. This was like about a long time ago. He worked in sales. He used to travel to show to show to show to show. And when he has to do a sales, so he checks out the shows. So one day he was at a show. I forget, it was maybe a regional show. And he's sitting in the audience and he's like, he's watching the show, enjoying himself. Then it was about time for the finals for the women. So, and then they're breaking down, ladies were posing, and then he said, I hear commotion in the back of the auditorium. So it's like, what's going on back there? And he hears and he sees the security pulling this guy from way back. This guy got his ankles, his shorts down his ankles, and then he's sitting like a couple of chairs away from one of the trainers or one of the women. Says, I thought they banned that guy, And the thing is about you ladies, your fan base is going to be mostly guys who find y'all very, something different about women bodybuilders. I think that's what interests, because if you look at the men's going to have a larger fan base because they're the ones who bring the money and attention. Good models is mostly is going to be guys who are a fan of bodybuilding, guys who are come say come say, a few women here and there. But I remember I got a friend. His name is Sean. He competes in men's physique. He told me he'll get requests for feet stuff and stuff like that, weird stuff and like that. But it's just, I think we respect. I like since doing this content, we respect what you do and who you are. That's why I do. And that's why I enjoy talking to women like yourself, who had your boots on the ground, 10 toes down, who done what you've done, been where you did, and especially raising a family and doing this. This is really why I like to give ladies like yourself the attention you deserve.
Thank you. Yes, I love the video that you did. Well, I felt, I didn't know that you made that comparison video, but it was really a nice way that you presented it and presented me. So, I felt like I think I am a real bodybuilder. I think I'm about as real as you're going to get. And I do have some bad habits, but my lifestyle is the gym and eating, and mostly all the meals that I do. 2 pounds of turkey a day, a cup of rice, lots of eggs, oatmeal, and then I do eat what I want. This weekend I have a lot of spaghetti and meatballs, and and I love steak, and I love Nutella and rice cakes, and but I can get away with it. I need to eat. Really, I really need to eat tonight too, because I'm feeling a little weak. Like at this point in my lifting, I have to take more time off, and I respond better that way. So I'll hit like 4 days really, really hard and go really good and eat really well. And then I almost didn't work out today because I kind of needed to rest. But I know what's coming up this week, so I needed to get that workout because I have a minimum. But tonight I need some steak, some red meat, some good steak and rice, and anyway.
Well, we're not gonna hold you up from, like, especially from.
Rest is important.
Well, we're not gonna hold you up, especially for you ladies who love to eat, because you don't give away between women and her food. I would say this.
And go ahead.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
I would say this. I think ladies like you who are in this game, I think instead of game, y'all deserve a lot more. And if it wasn't for women like you and LaDon and all the other ladies who have been in this game, we wouldn't have bodybuilding. I mean, the Linda Murrays, the Corey Eversons, the ladies who are on the boots of the ground, come from NPC, the ladies who are mature who come to the sport, and the young competitors. I think, except again, y'all deserve more recognition. That's why my challenge is dedicated to you ladies. And I do the comparisons because the fact is, I was inspired by a guy who was doing it with the guys. He was doing it with the women, but he stopped doing it because people were telling me they didn't want to see the women. But my challenge is about you ladies. It's not that many people do content about y'all. There's me, there's Female Bodybuilding Channel, there's Didi on the Spot, there's my man David Bryan, he does Female Bodybuilding Forum, KLA, he has his own stuff. We like to recognize you ladies. We got here Chuck again. I saw him. He popped up. Chuck says, imagine being in an Italian restaurant with Jackie and watching her slurp down spaghetti and meatballs. Yeah, okay, yeah, that's the thing. That's your fantasy. But
well, the problem is that I don't really go to restaurants.
Yeah.
I'm a cook. So
yeah.
I heard the beautiful woman last night, or was it the night before, the older competitor, she was talking about how she liked to cook. And it's true. We are good cooks. And I can do a lot. I am like an octopus in the kitchen. I'm like, I can put so much food together at one time. And after doing it so much, you really become disappointed when you go out to eat. So, I mean, I really have a hard time spending money on food when I know I can make it better myself, and believe it or not, manna to me would be a half a cup of oatmeal plain, and then mixed in with scrambled eggs and 4 egg whites. That's my favorite meal. I mean, I could eat that all day. If it supplies everything that I need, and it's good for you. So I will accredit eating well and really eating a lot has really kept me in good shape. Mm-hmm. But the older that I get, the harder it is to eat, because your appetite does suppress naturally. Mm-hmm. Yes. Some people might be happy to hear that. But
I think I'm especially me. I think I need to suppress my appetite, because sometimes.
But like for me, like today, I didn't eat until 3 p.m. So it was like, man, I went and I didn't realize I had gone so long without eating, but I was busy all morning. I got up at like 5, and then I had a lot of things I was taking care of, and so there's an issue. If I've gone all day without eating, and I wasn't even hungry. So, it's an age thing. Yeah. And another thing on top of it at my age is menopause. So you have to be very, very, very careful. That's why you can't do hormones and stuff like that for a show. One of the reasons, or one of the prominent things that stick in my head is that, I want to be careful not to put myself into early or into full blown menopause. So you've got to keep an eye on that, and it's a struggle because your estrogen levels go up and they go down, and then you have to deal with all of that. It's been hard for me, that part, because it's coming. It's coming on there, and so I want to stay as feminine as long as I can, without nature taking its course. And because, when we lose our estrogen, that's why females that are mature excel into bodybuilding when they're, is because they're naturally gone through menopause and lost their, that extra estrogen.
Yeah,
something like that.
because they don't have the extra estrogen. They don't.
Anyway,
It takes
that's
away pieces
right.
of femininity off of them, so they can really gain the muscle
Yeah.
and the
Yes.
size.
You're already going to lose it. Right. And I'm afraid of that. And I want to, I've been walking around this town here for a long time as the muscly man before it was even fashionable. So now I'm still here in town, but there are more women with muscle, more people in the gym. It's more the thing. But, when I first started here in this particular town was in 2004. And it was horrible for me. It was horrible. People talked, and you know what? I just said, okay, they're just going to have to. So it's really important at the age that I am now that I preserve my femininity. And, so I'm probably 20 pounds down where I used to be in 145, in my heydays and all that. Now I sit at about 125, 127 is where I sit, but I'm more feminine that way, but I'm still badass. So, I mean, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. One thing that makes you feminine, anything, you have kids, and that's the
Being a mom, that's
yeah,
right.
that is the most.
It's a gift.
There's nothing. If that's anything that makes you feminine, that is. But you know how people is. They can prejudge. I always say like they say, oh, like what I post stuff on here, and then people get up and say, hey, that's the dude. Number
Yes,
one,
you
I
can't see.
yeah. Number one, she has like if I post something like that, especially if I know the lady who she is, said, hey, she has a husband, 3 kids. She's not a dude. That's I know there's some women who do take and they go a little too far. They do get a little bit the very masculine traits, but they're still female. But it's just that if you don't like it, don't say nothing about it. Mind your business, move on. This is
Well, it's got what it is like you're basically making fun of people. Like, so I had a kid, and this was so when I was working out the rec center when I was training for the 2011 show, and I was just big and I was grumpy, and everybody would be like, I'd be up in the rec center, and a group of teenage kids came in, and the one kid was just laughing at me. He was laughing and giggling and I just was like, what? And I finally turned around and I made a big scene. And it's like, what is so funny? And he was just so annoying. And he was such a geek too. Well, turn the clock forward to like last year, that same kid came up to me in the gym. And maybe he took some steroids or something, but now he's big and he wanted me to see him. Remember me? I'm the guy that was laughing at you. And so I laughed at him.
he try to come. He try. Hey, lady, you remember you laughed at me?
Now he's all jacked up, and he's like,
Yeah.
"Do you remember me?" I was like, "Yeah, I do remember you." And then that's the kind of person you are. You haven't changed.
Yeah. That's
So
that's
it's
sad.
just mean. It's mean because I don't go around and say, "Oh, look, you're really skinny." I don't. I don't say, "Well, you're really fat."
I know I'm really fat. Yeah.
Well, you're huggable. Come
Nah,
on.
nah. If I hug you, Miss Jackie, I won't want to let you go, and then I have to change my shorts afterwards. I'm a pervert. I'm going to meet you right there. I'm a muscle purse. No,
I already knew that.
yeah, thank you. I remember a lady who was part of my live stream this afternoon. We met because she was down here in North Carolina. Attended a couple of ladies who I become friendly with. We met. I got to hug her. I said that was the first time I got to hug a female bodybuilder. That was it was both it was exhilarating and yet it was particularly it completed me.
Well, you need a little something,
Yeah, I know.
George. There you go.
Yeah, thank
Well,
you.
I well, I do enjoy to be on here with you and to connect with. There's some old people that I haven't seen in a long time, and they've been good for me through the years. But I know I've been in and out of the whole bodybuilding world. But now here I am back at Foxy Flex's studio, and I'm going to keep, posting my workouts. It's really motivating for me to get down here and work. And so I wanted to put it on my channel. I'm not expecting much from there. It's just fun for me. And I like doing the video stuff. I've always been into all that, and I love the music, and anyway, and I love lifting. So I hope y'all enjoy my page, and
Yeah,
I'll keep that updated. I don't have any other social media. I don't have
yeah.
time for it, and it's just too much.
Yeah, like I said again, those damn kids can do that for you. They owe you something. They pay to them pay what you owe. I mean,
I
but
know it's
folks,
just too much to ask.
yeah, it's never too much, especially for your mama. Because like I said, my mama passed away 3 years ago, and she was my woman. I loved her. She was the woman that, she supported me. And we got here my man Rolando G, and he says, uh,
Thank
says,
you.
yeah,
Hello.
hello, Foxy Flex, stunning woman. Your physique is phenomenal. And if
Thank you.
anything,
I appreciate that.
you it's just a few moments out of the day help the mom and do something. But guys,
They
if you
do.
yeah,
My kids are good. My boy, I have 3 boys. They're very good to me.
oh,
Very good to me.
see, yeah. Remember, a boy's best friend is his mother. You're the first woman we ever loved.
Uh-huh.
Wives and girlfriends come and go. Once you lose your mother, you can never replace her. Other than children, you can replace a wife and a girlfriend, but you never replace your mother or your children or your father. I know they're probably still in a relationship with their father. They're good with him.
Everybody's good.
Yeah, I guess.
Everybody's good.
Yeah,
I'm not married anymore, but we're good.
yeah.
Everybody's
That's
good.
good.
So, there's a good family.
Well, like I said, my parents were together for 55 years. Even though we were down here in North Carolina, my daddy was living up in New Jersey with his new woman and his kid.
What part of
And
New Jersey?
he was up in Patterson. Him and my one of my aunts, his one of his sisters was up there. She passed away last year, and I had some cousins still up there. I wanted to when he passed away. I wanted to go to the funeral, but I had got a new job. I couldn't afford to go up there. My aunt passed away. I wanted to go, but I couldn't afford it that either. But while I was growing up as a kid, if you hear my voice, I'm from North Carolina, but you hear
Hmm.
my voice, it's not a very southern kind of voice. I get old, I get a little southern twang every now and then. And I used to joke around saying, say, where you from? Because my dad was living in Jersey. I say, oh, I'm from Jersey. I used to joke. I say, I'm from Jersey. Like, you from, where you from? New York? And I said, no, I'm from Jersey. Like I said, I used to lie. I used to pick up the kids. I said like, well, my parents used to live up in New Jersey, and my mom came back down here when my parents got divorced, and we've been living here ever since. But yeah, it's just something I used to have fun with the other kids. But yeah, we do appreciate your time, ma'am. I mean, it's great to catch up with someone like yourself. I've seen your stuff. I followed you before in the past. I say, whatever happened to her? She kind of disappeared, and just I know that life can be hectic, especially. You're raising 4 kids. You maintain a job. Excuse me. A little throat here. You know, and to still have a passion for sport. I know maybe if anybody like one thing, like I said, I know you don't have social media other than her. Like guys, if you want to follow her, her YouTube page is in the description. Check her out. This is something I have to worry about saying
Yes.
to this is something I have to worry about saying to you. There you go. You got a nice flex. You got a little peak on there. Yeah, there you go. You cite the schmoes. Okay, clear yourself.
Don't call me little.
uh,
There was a girl that called me little at the gym, and I jumped all over her ass.
ooh,
She was like, actually, she called me tiny. I was like, why would you call a bodybuilder tiny? She was trying to compliment me because my waist was small.
mm-hmm,
And she's a muscly girl, except I'm bigger,
yeah.
right? And she know it. So anyway, she said, damn, she says, you're tiny. And then she elevator eyed me and she went, you're really tiny. And I was like, don't ever fucking call me tiny again. And then she jumped back, and the guy that was, and I was just being, Jersey. But it's true. Why would you call a muscle person tiny ever? I mean, it shouldn't even be in the vocabulary. So the guy that was with her, he's actually a friend of both of ours, but I'm more his friend than hers. But anyway, he kind of sat back and he thought, I think I want to watch
Yeah,
this.
hey, this is true story. I used to, I had quite a few jobs. I used to work, I used to hold down 2 jobs when I was younger. I used to work, one of my jobs used to work at, before I worked this place, it was a strip club. Before I worked there, I was there one night just chilling out. This is before I got the job, it was years ago. And I was just chilling out. Next thing you know, I see these 2 girls arguing, 2 dancers. And next thing you know, when I see the other one do her hand like this, I knew, like Kevin Hart would say, it was about to go down.
Yeah.
And And I grabbed her and pulled. I was really cool with one of the security guys said, "You got to say," yeah, and he held her. And I used to, even when I started working there, I used to break up fights between strippers. You know, we guys when you
They
see
pull hair and shit. I don't do that. We're just
no no no
talking.
they- no
You're gonna
they
get one, and
no
that's it.
these girls were slugging out. These girls were slugging out.
I'm gonna get you on the ground
You
first.
you want to be like ham throws. I think we love when you we
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm not. I'm just saying that I don't really have any skill, but if I can get you on the ground first, then you're going down.
yeah. I think
But if you can get me first, then I'm probably not going to be able to do anything.
I remember the first time I broke up a fight between two girls was in high school, and I was like, that was when I was playing football. I was one of the strongest guys on my team. But when we watch you girls fight, this is what we guys we look for it. We look for titties to pop out or something to show it. We
I don't have those.
well, yo,
I just have pec, all pec.
you
Yes, I did that.
you cited Orlando. He just says, "Oh my yes." We in great pecs. I love nice pecs too. I mean,
Thank you.
but folks, we're not gonna hold her much too long because, like I said, she got to eat. She got to feed the machine. I enjoyed this conversation with her.
Okay.
If you want to follow lovely Miss Horan, you can check her. She's not IG. Sorry, not IG. She's on YouTube.
Yes.
And you can follow it in the description. Reach out to it. And this is the one thing I have to tell guys to do this. Because the fact is, you don't have to worry about this, guys. You don't have to worry about guys sending these. And I tell them, don't send them D pics. Don't you have to worry about that on YouTube? I don't know. Yeah.
I missed that. What was that again?
So guys sending D pics.
Oh.
Yeah, you have to worry about that anymore.
Anyway.
Yeah.
It's I'm kind of like I'm in the public stream now, so it's not all the fetish thing. My page is not that. If you have one, that's your deal. But I'm probably not going to entertain it that much because my goal is to really just get my workouts out there. It's kind of my own journal. I could die tomorrow. Like I was really affected when I saw that lady had passed away, that you had interviewed from her cancer. And I felt really sad about that. And I thought, well, that could happen to any of us. And so it's kind of nice. We all have a little story to tell or clear up, or, maybe, we need people to see us and that we do work hard. I don't have a lot of people in my life saying, oh, great job. I got to say that to myself. And I do quite well, but, so it's great that you're here. And, we'll just, my body, I won't disappoint with my cute outfits though. My Foxy Flex channel. I can't wear those to the gym. I wear my bodysuits to the gym and everybody's like, oh my God, can you see what she has on? And I'm like, I'm wearing more clothing in a bodysuit than those girls over there. And I get more attention in it.
Yeah, you see the videos they post like, hey, I'm a guy, I'm paying attention. Girls are wearing stuff high waisted up the crack and like that. Hey, top, boobies hanging out, but you wear a bodysuit. Maybe some guys might be, I don't know. It's crazy. I mean, but it's about if you just respect the person who they are, and just respect what they do, and understand that this is what you like to wear. If it's not bothering you, but if that person has an issue, that's on them. We got one more from my man here, Rolando. He says, Foxy, I like your personality. Wow, you are sincerely awesome, sculptured lady. And she sent me a link here, and I appreciate that.
I learned how to use it.
Yeah, because
I learned how to use your chat now.
Well, it's good. See, I can't post pictures, but I appreciate. So, folks, if you see the link here, it's also in the description of the live stream. You can follow her if you're interested. Check out her stuff. I don't have to worry about telling you guys not send the D pics, because the fact is you can't do it on YouTube. It's impossible. If you can, you gotta be some guy with some major abilities with computers and technology. I don't know how, but if you want to follow her, check she left it in the comment section. Also, it's in the description. Check her out, support her, grow her channel. Maybe get to the point where she's monetized. They will monetize and say you have to do lives, because you do enough lives.
I used to have like back in the day, like 5,000 subscribers. And then I've had websites and all kinds of things. And then things will happen and I'll get like, okay, I'm done. And I'll go and delete everything. And I never deleted the YouTube page, but I deleted half the videos. And but I just kind of need a platform to put myself on. We all do. I give myself energy, and then yeah, I mean, it's great having likes and comments and all that. I know, but it's not really the most important thing. The most important thing is that I'm doing my thing. I'm sharing it. If you want to watch me do my thing, come on down. And I do read comments and stuff. So and I see it every day. So anyway, it'd be great. But I did want to, we had a turtle shell. Is TRV still there?
I don't know. He might have. Sometimes,
I can't see.
sometimes, guys,
I
he
can't.
he posts that earlier, like right here. If he posted that earlier,
I
yeah,
can't see who's in the chat.
yeah, you probably won't see because most times, I see the number of people we got, but you won't really see because unless they start posting something, you won't
What do
see
we got?
that.
Three? You have three in the chat?
I got at least four, about four, yeah.
Oh, okay, good.
Because we had a lot more when we started, but it's already about 10 o'clock and everybody's about to go to sleep. My man
All
kid,
right.
he left, and sometimes the thing is the time zone is also the same thing when we try these interviews. Because I did an interview with one lady, like I got up like about, she was like in Australia, had to get up around about 11 p.m. and it was like about, what time was it for her? It was like 12 in the afternoon. Yeah, it's work. It's a practice. But I enjoy doing what I do it because I love to give your ladies a voice because not a lot of people get the opportunity to share their story and it's fun. I enjoy these conversations. But like I said, fellas, who are still here, you're not in bed yet. You're not taking a nap. I know some people got to go to work tomorrow. Her comment,
Yeah.
her Foxy Flex is in the description, and also it's in the comment section. So if you want to join her channel, increase her subscribers, that helps a lot. And maybe in the future she can do something. Because one thing you got, if you do lives like this, and you got to put somebody. I think the Woolies have to at least over 4,000 watch hours for it to get monetized. So I think I got a few, but I don't get apologized. But I enjoy this conversation with you, Jackie. I think you're a lovely lady. I wish you all
Thank
the
you so
best.
much.
One of my things.
It's so great to come talk about bodybuilding. I haven't, I don't, my son, my oldest son, we were working out together about 2 months ago. We were meeting at the gym, and I'm always talking bodybuilding. I'm always talking about myself too. But he said, "Would you just shut up? All you do is talk about yourself." Yeah, and I was like, okay. So then I started keeping my mouth shut. I was like, maybe I do talk about
No, no,
myself too
no,
much.
woman.
So,
That boy should know better. You need
so
to kick him
anyway,
in,
then
kick him in the chest. Kick his ass in the chest. I know you got short legs, but no, no, hell no. No, not even.
I actually have pretty long legs. I actually have pretty long legs for as short as I am. Like the shorter women sometimes look like almost midget. But my legs got long enough to where I don't quite have that short waist. I have a nice proportion. So anyway.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it's time to wrap this up.
Yeah. So before we go, like, you have, other than your kids, you have anybody you want to say a shout out to, or just to say, some friends, supporters, anybody out there?
Uh, there.
There you go. There you go, you schmoes. There you go. There's your gift. Enjoy it. Now you're in the bed. And
All right, I'll do one ab.
one ab,
We'll do
one
one
ab.
ab so they still see how they can still see what kind of shape. So
Yeah.
there
Ooh.
we go.
See, right now they're in the bed right now, and you'll say she's doing the abs. Oh no. Yeah. That's it. We got.
Still there after all
Yeah,
this
you still look
time.
good. Can we get a pec dance too before we go? I don't know if she wants to do one or not. It's up to her if you want to. Yeah, there you go. You got a little pec dance.
Do you remember that? We must.
Yeah, you must. Yeah.
We must
That's
increase our bust.
yeah. I'm just
It didn't work for me because I don't have
yeah.
any. So I literally don't even own a bra. But okay, so I'll do one.
Yeah,
I'll do
one
one
pec. There you
pick.
go.
There we go.
There you go.
Ah,
Yeah, this is my man KL. Come
that was
on.
fun.
Yes, I know it's
That was
fun.
fun.
It's fun teaching
Okay,
these
well,
schmoes.
hopefully, maybe we could do it again sometime. I would love to. And I enjoyed meeting you.
Well, I enjoyed meeting you. I appreciate the time you gave me, and all due respect.
I know you've been I know you've been bugging me for a couple
Yeah,
years.
I think I may have sent something to you maybe before when you used to have a social media platform, and then and I know you ladies are busy, and I just sometimes after a while I say I'm not gonna. One thing I don't do, I'll reach out, you respond, that's good. If you don't, I'm not gonna chase after you. I'm just gonna let you take your time, come whenever you're ready.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah. Well,
All
I like.
right. Well, thank you, everybody.
All right. Thanks to my man KL here, my man Reb 32, my man Rolando G, also Balls Deep, all the guys who came in here, Curtis, all you appreciate y'all guys coming through. I know some guys are coming a little late now because hey, we're about to leave. Hey, you follow my channel, you know the schedule, be here. Guys, we'd like to appreciate the lovely Jackie Horan for coming through.
Okay.
Support her in whatever she does in the future. Maybe we might get her to come back and maybe stage one more time for us, but that's up to her. But folks, if you want to follow on her
You know,
YouTube channel, it's in the comments. She left in the comment section, and it's also in the description. I don't have to worry about telling you guys what not to do because she doesn't have the social media platform.
they're the same four guys,
Yeah, but you got
George.
same four guys. Got to tell them you got remind. I got another guy now, but like I said, thank you, appreciate your time. Best of
Thank
luck to
you.
you. Go ahead, feed the machine, and
Okay.
we're not gonna hold you much longer. But good luck
Okay.
to
You
you.
be good.
You too.
Good
All right.
night.
Good
Okay.
night.
Good night. There we
All right. Good
go.
night. There you go. There you go, Schmoes. Before you go to sleep.
All right.
Good night. All right.